I think about how important it is to know who it is that we think the state should be serving, to basically determine what the needs of that population are and then do the best that we can to provide that. And I know that's general, but I think that we do need to go back to the basics here. There's a lot that we don't know. It's unfortunate, and it is actually, in my belief, one of the problems. Dr. Miller said, know your population, and in my notes that I prepared last night, that was the first point that I made, and I think I very much agree with him, and I think we need to undertake that. I'm glad he touched on the issue, some of the issues that he did touch on, like race and some of the other sensitive issues that I didn't feel like I'd be able to talk about today. Our office has a proposal that's been out there for a while, and I've talked about it a few times in the last few years. Basically, our view is that early intervention is really the key, that we need to address the needs of kids before they actually get to the state level. And in that regard, I think one of the things that we've tried to encourage the legislature to do is to provide incentives for local governments to develop the programs that they have not developed to meet the needs of these kids at an earlier stage. Our office is primarily a player in the budget arena, so we're often talking in the budget committees to the legislature, and and I think that may be how we sort of approach this from a fiscal perspective initially. Currently, we have a system in California known as a sliding scale fee, and basically the way it works is that counties contribute to the cost of incarcerating kids at the state level, and the amount that they pay is based upon the seriousness of the commitment offense for the ward or child. So for the most serious commitments, the counties pay nothing, and as the kid who is committed is what the commitment offenses are less serious, they pay more. The idea is to keep the less serious kids out of the state facilities. The whole commingling of more violent and less violent kids didn't seem to make very good sense. So now we have the system in place, and for the most part, the kids that are sent to the youth authority are the most serious kids in the system. And there is a need to have institutions for these kids, and the facilities that we use to house them and someday rehabilitate them are managed by the state. I don't think that we necessarily need to recreate that at the local level. What we've recommended doing is basically getting rid of the sliding scale and charging counties the full cost of making commitments to the youth authority. And the idea is that they might have a greater incentive if they're faced with the full cost of committing children to the youth authority, of developing programs locally. There are lots of, and actually this looks like a feasible approach in California when you consider the fact that counties really are serving most of the kids in the system. That's an understatement. I mean, the state's only serving less than 5% of the kids in the system. And counties do have greater resources and in their communities to address these needs. But the degree of sophistication, the level of services obviously varies from county to county, so that would need to be addressed. When you put a kid in a state institution in the desert in California for a few years and they have not had contact with their family, and then you dump them back in the community, oh, your number's up, you're going home today, and they just go right back to the community, it doesn't really make any sense to expect that child to succeed in the community. Unfortunately, too, because this is known, I think, excuse me, maybe we have a situation, too, where we're really spinning our wheels at the state level. We're talking about maybe doing a whole bunch of rehabilitation. Considering the age of the kids when they go back to the communities and the sort of risk-averse nature of law enforcement and probation, it wouldn't be surprising to me if many of these kids, after spending time at the youth authority, end up basically right back in the system just as soon as someone can get them there.